Travis Wingate. So this is the email this morning to Judge Campbell. If as a reminder for you, Judge Campbell has sanctioned me with censorship, as she is purposely delaying, going on 2 months now. She claimed that she needed to give her decision on 3 particular motions, one of which was from the defendant, before any further motions could be submitted and further briefs could be submitted, as I have 2, one motion and one brief, that are indicated on the docket but are not filed to be accessible to the public yet. And I've been submitting emails despite this during this time. So this is this morning, the 21st of December 2020. As Your Honor has violated Rule 11 against the plaintiff and is going on 2 months with no action to protect the no action. I should probably put a comma. To protect the defendant from inevitable and obvious judgment of guilty, which inaction has resulted in further crimes by the defendant and more deaths jeopardizing the life of the plaintiff. The plaintiff herein submits another unofficial brief, but not including the clerk's office as per Order 26. The plaintiff has noticed that on Your Honor's court page, you have properly requested the type of forms to be submitted. As the plaintiff gives further notice about the clerk's office ordering a different format for submission in this complaint. Thus why these emails are not in their proper format. On the 5th of December 2020, the defendant's PR announced the COVID infection of Apostle Dale G. Renland, a former medical doctor. The plaintiff has informed Your Honor that on the 7th, Renland from the hospital socially posted an advertisement for Mormons to go back to the temples, as the defendant was elevating certain temples to phase 3 of operation, despite the escalation of the virus due to Thanksgiving weekend super spreader. On the 10th, the PR spokesman did a follow-up claiming Renland was fine. As of this email, there has been no... Has been? They're saying it should be have been. No. There has been no further updates. As to the status of Renland, as 15 days of assumed hospitalization have now passed. The health and actions of Mormon prophets are as vital news to Mormons as the President of the United States is to the nation. For the defendant to withhold vital status updates from Mormons is unacceptable, especially since, according to the CDC, hospitalization lasting longer than 10 days indicates a status of critical or severe. And then I link the cdc.gov coronavirus page under, and then I put in the copy and pasted the assessment from that page, which shows that remain infectious no longer than 10 days after symptom onset, likely remain infectious no longer than 20 days after symptom onset for critical illness and severe immunocompromise. So I'm not going to read the whole thing on that. Renland got infected despite wearing a mask and socially distancing at Sunday church. As the plaintiff has pointed out, the defendant has intentionally caused the spread I haven't taken off my sweatpants from running. Just noticed. After 42 minutes of returning home, the plaintiff has pointed out that the defendant has intentionally caused the spread and escalation to extort the lives and health of Mormons and Utahns. The now obvious news that Renlund is either critical or severe exposes the defendant to further attempted negligent homicide, along with their genocidal extermination using a viral weapon as part of conforming to the orders of Putin, being compromised to him, as the plaintiff has been trying to warn this court for the last two complaints. And thus, as this court has demonstrated extreme bias and prejudice in behalf of the defendant in dismissing the plaintiff's complaints, which nonetheless adhere to the pro se litigant guide, the plaintiff's complaint is justified, sound, and accurate, as this court are co-conspirators with the defendant in this coup d'etat of America. The plaintiff expects your honor will further delay the obvious order to be granted to the plaintiff, clear through the end of the year, causing further unnecessary deaths and further compromising of national security. Your honor is demonstrating your compromised position, as your fellow justices are to be condemned along with the defendant. If there is no justice over the justices, then there is no justice. Deep. Whoa, man, that's heavy. But yeah, who protects the people from those who are supposed to protect the people? Alrighty.